Hello my fellow working class heroes, good day. I am Carlo and welcome to Carlo Excels. These are the objectives of this episode. Today we're gonna talk about the Faustus Bingo Manager template. First, we're gonna talk about the overview of the features of the Bingo Manager template, and then how to download the Bingo Manager template, and then we're gonna talk about how to print bingo cards from this template, and then how to run a game using the bingo game template, and then how to run multiple games from this bingo game template. Before anything else, if you're new to this channel, hello, this is Carlo Excels, a channel that is dedicated to teaching my fellow teachers here in the Philippines Microsoft Excel. Occasionally, I also create Microsoft Excel tools like this that will be helpful for my fellow teachers. Please like this video and share this video to your fellow teachers and drop a comment down below. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm and help those who are searching for this to find this. Thank you. So let's talk about the features of this Bingo Manager template. This Bingo Manager template can generate and print up to 3,000 different bingo cards, and custom titles and headers can be used on the generated bingo cards. Additionally, you can change the bingo cards into 26 different stamp patterns. This Bingo Manager template can be used to run a game of bingo, or because of its 26 different stamp patterns, it can be used to run up to 26 bingo games in one event. Additionally, this Bingo Manager template can be used to automatically certify and check winning bingo cards. This Bingo Manager template is a Microsoft Excel template, compatible with Microsoft Office versions 2007 and above. This Bingo Manager template is made to not be compatible with Google Sheets, so please download this template and use it offline with Microsoft Excel or any compatible spreadsheet program. How do you get the template? Please check the descriptions down below in this YouTube channel and you will find a download link to the Faustus Bingo Manager template. Now, when you click on that link, this is what you will see, what's on the screen right now. So it is going to be a zip file. All you will have to do is to click on this small download button on the upper right corner of the screen. So when you click on that, you will download the zip and you can extract the contents. The Excel file there is the Bingo Manager template. This Bingo Manager template is free to download, distribute, and use. It is made primarily for bingo game events organizers and primarily made actually for smaller and medium-sized schools that may want to have bingo as one of its community events. But the only catch is, if you're gonna get this for free, please distribute it for free. When you distribute it to other people or to other schools, please do not sell it or please do not edit any part of the Bingo Manager template. Free to download, distribute, and use for as long as you do not sell it and you do not edit it. Thank you. Now, these following statements I really need to state for the sake of this channel. Now, I know that bingo is primarily used as an activity by small and medium schools, as charity events, as small fundraising events, or even as events to get together for the families to hang out and have fun. But this channel does not promote gambling. I do not promote gambling. This Bingo Manager template is not meant to encourage gambling, and it is not meant for gambling organizations. And therefore, this channel and I myself am not responsible for any problem that may arise from the misuse of this template. Now, let's proceed to actually using the template. Now, this is going to be a very lengthy video because, of course, a bingo game has many moving parts and is quite complicated to run and, of course, to manage. But please watch this video from start to finish so that you will learn how to run a complete bingo game or a complete bingo event using this Bingo Manager template. So when you open the template, the first thing that you will see is this screen right here, the main settings. The first thing that you're going to have to set is the card stamp pattern. You may select up to 26 stamp patterns here from A to Z, and the stamp pattern is going to dictate which stamp pattern the template is going to use when it comes to the printing of cards. Please note that this template has 3,000 predetermined bingo card configurations, and none of these configurations are repetitions. We made sure of that already. So just select a stamp pattern, and once you select a stamp pattern for a particular game of bingo, please remember that stamp pattern, because that stamp pattern is not only going to determine what kind of cards are printed, it is also going to determine the winning card later on when we get to the part wherein we check the winners. So once again, You may pick any stamp pattern, but once you select a stamp pattern, be sure to remember it, be sure to save it, be sure to write it down somewhere. So the next thing that you have to customize is, of course, the printing lines that will be present on the bingo card itself. So say for example, we have here, for a small school, you have here YouTube, University, like so. And then you have here a bingo, for example, we have here a charity, bingo game. And then let's say for example, for June 10, 2022, like so. So you will notice here on the sample bingo card, you have a preview of what the card is going to look like once you print it based on the card printing lines that you specified here. Next thing that you have to set here, in this particular game, what is going to be the winning bingo card layout? So what is going to be the winning bingo card layout? Say for example, for this particular game, I want the winning bingo card layout to be a letter A on the bingo card. So what we can do is, look at the winning bingo card layout part of the screen here, over here. So you have here all zeros. So zeros represent a non-winning pattern or non-winning space. So you can click from at the small arrow here and then draw from the drop-down list, and then you can select X. So once you select X, this space is now part of the winning pattern. So say for example, we want a letter A to be the winning pattern, so we have to set X here. So this is going to be a letter A over here. This one too. This one too. This is the free space, of course, as per bingo card tradition. This is letter winning this part of it, winning pattern, letter A. So this is what the letter A is going to look like once it's a winning pattern. So once again, letter A is the winning pattern. So therefore, for this card holder, if the person is holding this particular card, for him to have a bingo, he needs to be able to get N39, I28, B13, 6, and 9. Then you have G53, and of course O65, 62, and 63. Next, let's talk about printing. Now, on the lower left corner of the screen, you will see here on the tab that says printing. So click on that, and this is the part wherein you do bingo card printing. Please note, these bingo cards are set for A4 size paper. Again, A4 size paper. So you have here the first batch of printing. First batch of printing is going to print pages 1 to 50, and each page has 4 bingo cards in it. Do not worry, these bingo cards have already been layouted, and they will hopefully fit properly on A4 size paper. So if I try printing this, for example, you will see, of course, that this is now A4 size paper. So once you print all of this, all you will have to do for each page, all you have to do is cut perfectly in the center of the page, and then cut perfectly crosswise in the center of the page, and you will get 4 cards. If you want to cut it more accurately, of course, you may cut it down here if you want more beautiful cutting. But of course, cutting down the middle for both lengthwise and crosswise should be fine. Now, this is for pages 1 to 50, and again, you have 4 bingo cards for each and every page. So the first batch is going to be 50 pages. It's already prepared there. All you will have to do is just print automatically, again, on A4 size paper. And then, after you print the first 50 pages, you can then click on this small arrow over here, and then select the next 50 pages, 51 to 100. So this is another 50 pages, print that again. And then next batch of pages, print that again. Next batch of pages, print that again. However many that you need. So please note that this bingo manager template can handle up to 3,000 cards. So once again, this is not meant for very, very big bingo events. This is just meant for bingo events of smaller or medium-sized schools for their school communities. Now, let's talk about the card stamp pattern for a moment. So what exactly is the card stamp pattern for? The card stamp pattern adds an additional layer of security to your bingo game. Because if you observe the bingo cards here, the bingo cards are actually standard design, and the bingo cards are actually, if you're really trying hard enough, the bingo cards are actually very, very easy to duplicate. They're very easy to recreate. So the stamp pattern adds an additional level of security because the stamp if you will see here on the bingo cards, you have here a serial number. Each bingo card has a preset serial number that you can check later on when it comes to checking the winnings. For as long as the person or whoever is planning to duplicate the cards, whoever is planning to cheat the game, for as long as they do not know the stamp pattern that you are using, your game is relatively safe, right? So please pick a proper card stamp pattern for your games and make sure that you do not you keep the card stamp pattern that you're using secret, so that if anybody wants to recreate the cards, or if anybody else or if another person finds this template as well and uses this template to cheat your bingo game, at least if they do not know the card stamp pattern, they will not be able to win with their cards later on. Additionally, I also suggest that you add an additional layer of security. For example, one way of adding security would be once you print these cards, you may select some sort of stamp or some sort of mark or some sort of signature and then put it on the back part of the card so that you will know that the card came from you and was not printed by the person or was not duplicated by somebody else aside from the organizers. Alright, next step. Let's assume that you've already printed the cards and you've already distributed or maybe sold the cards to their intended players. Let's now prepare the game board. So if you look at the lower left corner of the screen, you will see there the tab that says game board. So click on that tab and you will proceed to the game screen. Now what you have to do next is to please note or please check what screen are you going to use when you play this bingo game, because this bingo screen is what you are going to display to your audience, to your players during the bingo game itself. So what screen are you going to use? Are you going to use a projector? Are you going to use an LED screen? Or for smaller room settings, are you going to use the screen of your laptop? Whatever the case, please plug your computer or your laptop into that screen and then go to the Faustus one, this template, and then prepare the game board. So what you want to do, you will notice of course that the game board is bigger than my screen. So what you want to do is you want the whole game board to be displayed on the particular screen. So what you want to do is, first, on the upper right corner of the screen, please click on this small arrow here so that you minimize the ribbon, so that you use as much of the screen as possible, like this. Alright? So next, from here all the way to here, please highlight this. Please highlight all of this, like so. So from the space that says called balls here, all the way to the space wherein you have the total balls here. Don't worry, we're gonna show later how to use this. And then once you highlighted that, click on view and then find zoom to selection. So when you find zoom to selection, what Microsoft Excel is going to do is it is going to find the appropriate setting for the zoom, for the proper zoom for this particular screen, making so that the whole game screen is going to be seen in whatever screen you're going to use, whether it be a projector, whether it be the screen of your laptop, whether it be a TV or some sort of LED screen, so that it's going to be visible for all of the players of your event. So after you do that for your game board, please do that for the win board as well. So on the next tab here, on the lower left corner of the screen, after the game board, you also have the win board right here. So do the same step. So once again, make sure that the ribbon is minimized over here on top. And then from serial number all the way down to over here on the bingo checker part. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about how to use this later. Please select view and then select zoom to selection so that this whole screen is visible later to your audience or to your players once you run the bingo game. Now, we've printed our cards, we've distributed our cards, we've prepared the game board screen and the win board screen. Let's now start our bingo game. So before we start our bingo game, I highly suggest that you first orient your audience as to the house rules of the game. So that is why in the zip file ready for download, I also included a sample PowerPoint presentation of the house rules. Of course, you may make your own house rules, you may print them, but these are the suggested house rules that I think you should discuss to your players. So the house rules, I'm going to read from the screen. This is from the sample. You're going to see this when you download the zip file later. For all of us to enjoy this activity, let us all observe the following house rules of the game. House rule number 1. Please take care of the serial number below the card. An allegedly winning card with unreadable serial numbers will not be honored. Now, you will see later on why these serial numbers are very important, because these serial numbers are going to be used to determine whether the card is a winning card. So we're gonna talk about that later. So house rule number 2. The organizers reserve the sole right to decide on invalidating cards that are unreadable, counterfeit, destroyed, or torn. All decisions in such disputes are final and irrevocable. Take care of your cards. House rule number 3. All numbers will only be called thrice. It is the player's responsibility to listen properly to the bingo caller and watch the screens during play. Number 4. As per regular bingo rules, a winning card is only considered valid if it also contains the last number called. If the next number is called and the winner has not announced his win is invalidated. For those who are familiar with bingo games, we call this the sleeper rule, right? Again, the winning card is only considered valid if it also contains the last number called. House rule number 5. Announcing a bingo is the sole responsibility of the owner of the card. It is not the organizer's fault if a bingo shout was not heard before the next number is called. And of course, house rule number 6. The organizers reserve the sole right to decide on disputes. Any decisions made are final and irrevocable. Not knowing the house rules are not valid cases for any disputes, especially when it comes to the serial number of the cards. So once again, these are suggested house rules, but of course, you may make you may draft your own house rules. But please note that the house rules regarding the serial number of the cards, please make sure to add this, because once again, we're going to use those serial numbers later on to determine winning cards. Now, time to start the game. Time to start drawing balls. Now, some of you may now wonder, how do I draw balls from this template? Please note that this template does not draw balls from you. You're going to have to draw balls manually yourself. I could include automatic ball drawing mechanisms in this template if I really wanted to, but I opted not to do it because, trust me, from experience, people do not trust randomized computerized ball drawing mechanisms, because when a ball drawing mechanism is computerized, randomized, even if you try to explain to people that it's a random generating ball drawing mechanism from a computer, people usually do not trust it, they do not accept it. People think that the ball drawing mechanism is predetermined or scripted, etc. You will even notice, right, that professional bingo organizers in malls or in casinos, even they do not use computerized ball drawing mechanisms, once again, because people do not trust computerized ball drawing mechanisms. So therefore, you're going to have to draw balls manually. It's not hard to find bingo balls. In fact, a very cheap bingo set, for example, this is a very cheap bingo ball. You will notice this is B14 on the screen right now. This is a very cheap bingo set that I bought from a toy store near us. Cost me less than 100 pesos actually. And you can place all of these balls and then place them on a transparent bottle. Like so, this is a 1.5 liter Coke, plastic transparent Coke bottle. And this is what I'm going to use to draw balls. I suggest actually transparent bottles so that people do not, when you're drawing balls, people see that the bottle is transparent and therefore there is no cheating mechanism inside the bottle. So draw balls manually in this case. So the bingo caller or barker or whatever you call him, the bingo caller has now called the first ball. So you have here the screen. So on the upper left corner of the screen, you have here the called balls, and then you have here the winning pattern. So remember, once again, this is the screen that the people are seeing right now. So while they're playing their bingo, while they're holding their bingo cards, they're looking at the screen, of course, to check the progress of the game. So the bingo caller has called the first ball. So say for example, the bingo caller has called I-23, 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 something like that. So how do you enter I-23 into this? So on the upper left corner, you will have here called balls. So you have here the first ball all the way to the 25th ball. Then you have here the 26th ball all the way to the 50th ball. then you have your 51st ball, all the way to the 75th ball. Now, once the caller says, again, that was I-23, so you don't have to enter I-23 here. All you have to enter is just the number, again, just the number 23. So what you have to do is, you click on this, the topmost available space, and then just type here 23, like this, and then press enter. So when you press there 23, it will then be converted to I-23 as you see here on the screen. It's I-23, and I-23 has now been called, and people can see, I-23 has already been called. Of course, I-23 is the last ball, and of course the counter for the total balls has already been added. So I-23. Say for example, the next number is 065, 065, 065. So whoever's handling this template is going to type here on the next space 65, like so. So press enter, and then you have there 065. Next, B10, B10, B10. So type in here 10, and then press enter, etc, etc, etc. So just keep on typing the numbers down here as the balls are called. Now, for whoever is handling the screen or whoever's handling the laptop during the bingo game, please, please, please be very careful with what you type on the called balls part. Please do not make an error on typing the wrong number, because, well, humans do that sometimes, right? You're organizing the bingo game, you're very tired, and then you're handling the bingo screen. It's very possible for you to type a number that is different from what you actually heard. Please, presence of mind, be very careful with what you type here. Thankfully, we have, I've instituted a few security measures to at least minimize the amount of errors that you're gonna do. Say for example, you're calling your fourth ball, so you're supposed to enter it on the fourth space here. On the fourth space here on the upper left corner, you'll see here the fourth space. But if you enter a ball that is not on the current space, for example, you enter a ball here when you're supposed to be entering it here on top. If you enter a ball here, say for example, we have here B9. If you enter a ball there, B9, you will notice that the template is not going to let you enter. It will say here, ball entry error. Enter a number from 1 to 75. Make sure you enter a number that has not yet been entered, and enter it on the proper current space. If you enter anything else other than 1 to 75, it will not let you. At the same time, if you try to enter a ball that is already called, for example, B10 has already been called, and on the fourth space, you enter another B10, again, the template is not going to let you. In fact, it is going to mark red just to tell you that, oh, B10 has already been called. You're not supposed to enter that anymore. So, as much as possible, please avoid these errors. Please listen carefully to the ball caller. Please presence of mind when you call these balls, especially if you're already playing the climax blackout game, especially when there is a lot of money on the line or when there are great prizes on the line. Okay, the bingo game has now progressed. So we've called all of the balls, and now currently we've called 50 balls. We've already called 50 balls, and once again, our winning pattern was letter A, and the last ball called was G57, 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 and then somebody shouts bingo, right? Somebody shouts bingo. So, of course, the next step that you're supposed to do is you ask the person to come forward with their card, and once they come forward with their card, for whoever is handling this template, please proceed to the win board. You'll see the win board once again here on the lower left corner screen. Please proceed to the win board tab over here. So, proceed to the win board, get the card of the person, and once you get the card of the person, check the serial number on the lower right corner of the bingo card. So once again, the bingo card is supposed to look like this. This is a sample of the bingo card as you can see on the screen. And once again, on the lower right corner of the bingo card, you will see here the serial number. So ask the person to come forward with their bingo card, get the card, and then look at the serial number of the card. The serial number is what you're supposed to type in here in this particular space, serial number. So say for example, a person shouts bingo, but a person shouts bingo, and then you get the card and the serial number is 2302. this bingo manager template can actually check if serial number 2302 really does win this bingo game. So enter there 2302 and press enter. So once again, the people who are currently playing can see this screen right here. So once you enter 2302, you will see the bingo card of the subject, the person who won bingo. You will see his numbers and you can check if the bingo card wins or not. So you'll see here, I-28, B11, and B5 has not yet been called in this particular game. So therefore, 2302 is not a winning card. So that is why you see here on the right, last number called error, and of course no bingo yet, because three cards are still three spaces are still missing. So there, not a winning bingo card. Let's say for example, another person shouts bingo, and then you ask for this card. So the person moves forward and you ask for the card. Say for example, the serial number is 1126. You enter there, press enter. Alright? Oh, sorry. Let's try 1226 rather. They come forward, and then okay. Then you see here, oh, bingo checker. Good bingo. Yay, they win. Actually, no. Because you will see here, last number called error. If you inspect the card, the last number called was G57, but you will see that G57 is not among, not in the card of the person. It's not in the winning pattern. So therefore, this is a sleeper bingo card. This is a sleeper winner. So what happened in this case is, this person probably won bingo a while ago but did not shout bingo or did not notice that this card has already won. And as per standard bingo rules, this card is not going to win. We're very sorry for him. So once again, you have to check here if it is a good bingo, and you have to check here if there is a last number called error. So once again, card 1226 does not win this bingo game. So let's try another one. Let's see, for example, another person shouts another bingo, and then this person comes forward, you get his card, and then you enter the serial number of the card that you get. For example, the serial number is 0915. Press enter. In this case, 0915, last number called error, because the last number called is G57, and then you have here G57. At the same time, it's a good bingo. So this card wins. Congratulations to the owner or to the holder of this card. So this bingo template, once again, using this part of the bingo template, you can check the serial number of the card. At the same time, this can also be used to check the veracity of the card, meaning that this card has not been faked or has not been duplicated. At the same time, you can automatically check whether this card is winning or losing without having to do the usual tradition of reading each and every number here. You can do it quickly and easily by simply entering the serial number of the card. And with this, I hope you understand now why it is very important for you to state in the house rules that you are not going to accept a card if the serial number is destroyed or unreadable or missing. Because if you do not have the serial number, you cannot check if the card is actually a winning card, and you cannot check if the card is legitimate. Because, well, without a serial number, anybody can print a card. Anybody can fake a card. But with the serial number, you have an additional level of protection and, of course, an additional level of convenience. So once again, in your house rules, please remember to state to your players that they must protect the serial number on the card itself. Also, just like what I mentioned a while ago, if you remember a while ago, we were talking about the card stamp pattern, and I told you, right? Please remember your card stamp pattern. Please take note of your card stamp pattern. This is another reason why it is important to remember the card stamp pattern, because the serial number 0915 with this combination on stamp pattern A is not the same as the 0915 on stamp pattern B. For example, if I change the stamp pattern here to, for example, stamp pattern B, you will notice that when we go to the win board, 0915, the card 0915 already has a different pattern. Once again, this is an additional level of protection for your bingo game. This is to make sure that for as long as you know your own card stamp pattern, And for as long as you have the serial number, and for as long as any cheaters or duplicators do not know the stamp pattern that you are currently using, they're not going to be able to duplicate cards. They're not going to be able to cheat the serial number here. Again, that is an additional level of protection for your bingo game. So this player holding card 0915 has won the game. So you get their card, take pictures, give their prizes, shake their hands, whatever. So they've already won this game. Now, if you're running just one bingo game, then the game is over. But if you're handling multiple bingo games in one bingo event, you've only just handled one game. So how do you use this bingo manager to run multiple games? So this is how. So this is what you need to do. Say for example, in your bingo event, you have say 8 bingo games in your one bingo event. So what you're going to have to do is this bingo manager template, you're going to have to copy it 8 times. So you have 8 different copies of the template. So you open the 8 copies of the template, and for those 8 copies, you have each of them, you have particular stamp patterns. So say for example, game 1 is going to be, say for example, YouTube, university, then you have charity bingo, and then charity bingo, and then you put in here the date. Say for example, you're gonna run this on July 1, 2022. And then for the card printing line 3, say for example, you're going to have game 1. And then for game 1, you have letter A as your winning card layout. Say for example, you save this particular file for game 1. You have your stamp pattern of letter A. You save this particular file of game 1, and then you print the cards associated with game 1. You save it, and then you exit. So once you save and exit, then you have a new file. For the second file, you can use stamp pattern B for the second file or for the second game. Then you have here once again YouTube University Charity Bingo July 1, 2022. Then in this card, you're going to have game 2, as you can see on the screen right now. So for game 2, what you can have for game 2 is of course a different winning bingo card layout. Say for example, for bingo for game 2, you're going to have a letter S pattern, say for example. So you can change the pattern here. Let's create an S here, like this. Let's create an S pattern. So this is the winning bingo card layout for game 2. And afterwards, you save this file, and then you print the cards associated with game 2. And then you open the next file, then you change here, you change the card stamp pattern to C, and then this is for game 3. And then you change the winning bingo card layout to whatever it is you need. You save this file, you print it, etc, etc, etc. So by changing the card stamp pattern for each and every game, what you're essentially doing is you're making sure that the winning card on game 1 is not going to win on game 2, and it cannot be used for game 3, and etc. So that makes it so that a game can only be won with the game 1 card can only be used for game 1. Game 2 cards can only be used for game 2. Game 3 cards can only be used for game 3, etc, etc. So that's it for this bingo manager template. If you've listened from start to finish, thank you very much for hanging on to the explanations. But before, of course, we end, I really have to say this again. Once again, this bingo manager template was only meant for the fun use of the game bingo, for your small school community, for charity events, etc. Once again, I myself and this channel do not promote gambling. This template is not meant to encourage gambling. And yes, bingo is a form of gambling, mind you. Once again, this channel is not responsible for any problem that may arise from the misuse of this template. And if you like what you see, please once again like this video, share this video to your fellow teachers, drop a comment down below, and if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. It will really help with the YouTube algorithm and help those who are searching for this to find this. And if you subscribe to this channel, please know that this is not the last tool that we're going to have here on Carlo Excels. There will be many other tools that I plan to have for Carlo Excels. especially for our fellow teachers here in the Philippines. So once again, please subscribe to this channel so you do not miss our Excel lessons and our tools when they come later. So that's it for the Faustos Bingo Manager template. I hope I earned your subscription today. Once again, I am Carlo and this is Carlo Excels. Thank you very much for watching.